We built our coaching business from zero to over $170 million a year. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 6 different sales teams that we built to generate that revenue. So the very first team that we built was called our Inside Admissions team. Inside Admissions. So our Inside Admissions team was where we started before we really even had a sales team. So my job is to build the sales department. So it started with just me, and then we built out from there. So started hiring sales reps to come in the office and sell over the phone. So these are the people that are going to be selling over the phone, and we put this team in office. Okay. We paid them on commission. And this team was built the story can go on, but I'll spare you the details. But we had 2 different positions on this team. We had our setters and we have our closers, or we have our SDRs or the AEs. You've got those, and you're familiar with that different terminology. There's 2 different positions on the team. We didn't use that terminology. We used the terminology advisors. So advisors were our SDRs or our setters. Advisors and directors. So this was the makeup of our team. Now our advisors, this whole team, their job was to sell the core offer, our high ticket coaching program. And our high ticket coaching program, it evolved over time. It started around $15,000, but eventually we kept adding to it, and we built it into a $30,000 to $50,000 program. So their job was to sell our core offer, and this is an inbound, outbound team. So they had inbound leads through our online funnels, virtual channels. People would come to our sites or get into our funnel, and they'd opt in and schedule, or we did a lot of outbound outreach. So anytime someone attended a webinar or a virtual event or bought a course or something like that from the marketing channels, then we would always outbound those leads and generate interest in the core offer. But the number one goal of the Inside Admissions department or the Inside Admissions team was to farm the leads, work the leads, and get them into the core offer. Now, why do we call this Inside Admissions? Well, we didn't always call it that way. We started calling it the sales team. That's what everybody does. But there was a very critical point in our evolution that made a huge difference. And that's when we adopted what we now call our Ivy League framework. So basically what that means is it's kind of like an Ivy League school. When you go to an Ivy League school, they're not desperate to get you into their program. They're not trying to convince you and sell you, and they're not trying to offer discounts and payment plans. They don't chase down their clients. They're not worried about people ghosting them. And so the reason that is because they have strong posture. That their students apply, they interview, and they celebrate when they get in. And that concept really made a lot of sense to us. So like, why wouldn't it be any different? So we adopted, instead of selling the program and trying to convince everybody to buy, what we realized when we did it that way, we were attracting a lot of just low quality students, people that wanted something for nothing, people that wanted immediate results, instant gratification, people that didn't want to do the work and didn't want it to do anything hard. But success in the real world is going to take some effort. And so think about Ivy League schools. They're really upfront about how hard it is, and they attract a higher quality candidate, and they can charge more. And so anyway, we adopted that philosophy, and we built our entire sales process around that mentality where we had posture, we were selective, we developed enrollment criteria. And what happened was we started converting clients a lot easier. We were converting better clients that way. And it made everything work so much better. So we took that to heart. We made it very authentic as a brand standard. And so we stopped referring to this team as the sales team, and we refer to it as the admissions department, as the admissions team. There's a different set of there's a different mentality, a different set of emotions when a sales rep walks into their job and they're an admissions advisor versus a lowly sales rep or a lowly setter. That when a person walks into their job and they're just a setter, well, that's kind of the way they're going to see themselves. But if they come in as an admissions advisor with the same prestige as an Ivy League school, they're going to operate differently. They're going to operate at a higher level. So they're going to be able to, what we found is that they're able to connect with a higher quality candidate that way. So anyway, that's the inside admissions team. Inbound, outbound, core offers. And this is the very first team that we built. And this is where we really learned how to dial in our offer, dial in our sales process, dial in our sales infrastructure. So our CRM, our lead management. This is where we learn how to recruit, hire, and train people. This is where we learn how to set KPIs and measure results. We learned how to actually run a sales department through the inside admissions team. This is the number one team that we built first. And that if any of our clients, whenever we consult any of our clients, this is the number one team that we have to build and get dialed in. Now, the second team that we built after this was the acceleration team. So acceleration, this was a team that they were remote. They sold over the phone, and they're commission only. Commission only. All right. And I put that up here. Yep. So both of these are commission-based teams. Now, their number one job is upsells. So they're offering additional services, additional programs and services to the people that are buying our core offer, that are getting into our high-ticket coaching program. So this is a team. So the inside admissions team, this is a very different team, a very different sales approach. The inside admissions team is interviewing candidates, a lot of posture. They're inviting people in. Their people are getting accepted into our high ticket program. So the acceleration team is not going to use the same type of framework. They're not going to turn around and interview somebody that just got interviewed. That doesn't make any sense. And so this was a very different sales approach. So the framework that we use here was very white glove. Okay, and everything's very optional. They just paid $30,000 to $50,000 for a high-ticket program. The last thing we want to do is make them feel like now they got to buy something else if they really want to succeed. So this was very white glove. This was very optional, very soft type of an approach. Now, what made this work, and it took us a long time to figure this out, was we had to install something called the 7-day power value. Now, what is that? That is something that we installed to blow the client's socks off right away. When somebody's buying a $30,000 to $50,000 program, that's a 12 to 24 month program. Now, what we didn't want to do is wait 12 to 24 months to offer them something again. So we designed a very specific experience right out of the gate within the first 1 to 2 weeks of being enrolled in the program that was designed to just over-deliver value and blow their socks off and get the client to say, my gosh, that alone was worth the investment into this program. When you hit that, now we've earned the right to introduce additional offers. Now, we called them the acceleration team because we didn't want to call them the upsell team. That's a little tacky, right? So we called them the acceleration team because they represented programs that didn't determine your results, but they helped you accelerate your results. We felt that they were optional services that could accelerate your results even faster. So these were done for you services. Okay. What really works well here is done for you services. So you lean into the done for you services. And then we also had advanced classes and masterminds, things like that. There were other things that we could sell through the acceleration team. But the done for you services was really the bread and butter. And so what would happen is we would have in our core offer, we also included live events. One of the ways that we expanded our offer and our menu to get a higher price point was to include live event experiences. So our high ticket clients would come together and we would teach these advanced classes. And so at those live events, we would send part of the acceleration team. So not only would they sell over the phone, but they'd also sell at our boot camps. We called our live events boot camps for our high ticket program. So they would sell at the boot camp. So this was a very interesting role. The inside admissions team, it's a very different role. They're going to be working a lot more quantity of leads. They're dialing a lot. They're not getting a great contact ratio. They're going to hear no a lot. So it's a different type of a role. The acceleration team, very white glove. They're only working the highest ticket clients. So they're going to have nearly 100% contact rate. Okay, so they're going to work a lot fewer leads. And because they're coming off that power value experience, we got this to the point where this was converting between 55 and 60%. 55 to 60% of clients enrolling in the core offer would enroll into an acceleration program, acceleration service. So really, really strong team. So inside admissions and acceleration team, that you can build a very, very big company, multiple 8-figure company with just an inside admissions and acceleration team. So these are the two first teams that we built and dialed in. And then the third team that we built was our resolution team. So resolutions, these are the people, these were in office. Okay. And this is a very unique role because their job is to handle requests to cancel. Anytime somebody's requesting to cancel, very sensitive moment in that client's experience, very sensitive moment for your reputation. So this is a reputation management situation. What you don't want, and what we didn't want, is we didn't want to have inside admissions or phone sales guys dealing with refund requests because they're emotionally attached because their commission check is impacted by it. So it wasn't smart to have inside admissions advisors dealing with their own refund requests. It also spins them out when they hear negative stories from their own clients. And so we developed a separate resolution team. This is not a very big team. Okay. We had a very large company, $170 million a year in revenue. This is a very small, tight-knit team, but it's a very, very unique position. Extremely unique position because they have to be sales oriented because they're overcoming objections. They're they're creating financial solutions with people. They have to be very service oriented and very empathetic as they're dealing with a very sensitive clientele. And they're just a type of person that the job itself, it's just basically all day. If you're on the phone with requests to cancel, it's a negative experience because you're just hearing a lot of heavy stories, people that are losing their jobs, losing loved ones, getting diagnosed with terminal illnesses. You've got, people getting divorced. You've got all different kinds of really heavy things. So this is a very unique type of a role and very unique type of a skill set to fill this type of a position. But this is the core. This is the foundation that we built off of. And we spent a lot of time building the inside admissions team and then adding the accelerations team and then putting the resolutions team in place. Now, when this was in place, now we have the infrastructure built. Okay, so this allowed us to start going into new territory and expanding our marketing channels and our customer acquisition channels. And we built the fourth team, which was our live event admissions team. Admissions. So live event admissions. So this is when this became a customer acquisition channel. Live events are a fantastic way to acquire customers. Now, it's a bit more of a heavy lift and it's a little more expensive, but if we get it right, it's very profitable, very lucrative. And here's the thing about live events. Live events are great because most of the time your competition is not running live events. So this is a huge way that we separated ourselves from competition. We already had the virtual stuff dialed in. And then when we went to live events, we were interact with clients that we're no longer feeling like we're in this saturated market because we're offline, we're off social media, we're in person with our clients. So it doesn't feel nearly as saturated. And it's way easier to build trust. So if you're feeling like, we're clearly in a trust recession because everybody's bombarding the clients with all these ads and all this content. So it's a lot of noise out there. This is one of the ways that we separate ourselves. So if you are in that stage where you have inside admissions, you have this infrastructure built and you're wanting to separate yourself from your competition, then live events might be one of those solutions for you. But anyway, this is how we built our live event admissions team. We had a free event. The first thing we would have is people come to an event for free. And we had a set of speakers for these free events, and we had advisors. So people in the back of the room making the sales, and they would offer a paid event. So we did this in a 2-step process. They'd come to the free event first, and then we would offer a paid event. And that paid event had a totally different set of speakers and advisors. So different skill sets, different crew, completely different type of people. The free event, it's free, so it was a couple hours. It wasn't very long. Very unique type of a speaking skill set and advisor skill set. Then if they bought the paid event, that would be longer. That would be 2 to 3 days. And so different type of a speaker, different type of advisor, because at the paid event, that's where we're giving people our core offer. Okay. Now this was a remote team and this was a traveling team, and they were all on commission. Okay, so remote and traveling teams. So the key here to getting this team work is to keeping them consistent, keeping them on the road, keeping them getting opportunity in front of them. So we got to the point where we were running these events every single week. So we had our team had consistent opportunity throughout the year, very good paying position, and a lot of fun for certain types of people. What's really interesting is you've got 2 different teams now with the same type of an offer. One's an offer number over the phone with inside admissions, and the other one's doing it at a live event. But they're very different skill sets. So we had some of our top producers over the phone. That skill set does not translate over to the live events, and vice versa. Their best live event advisors weren't going to be that great over the phone. Just different skill sets. So very interesting there. So they would have their core offer. And so this worked really well. We figured out how to dial this in. And so then we scaled this and started doing multiple teams. And that created an interesting new scenario where people would come into the program, and now, the live event advisors, they're in their event, they're enrolling clients, and then they're back on the road and they go to the next one and they're enrolling clients. So they don't have a lot of time in between for touch points with their clients. And so to solve that, we built an onboarding team. And we call this the student onboarding team, SOT. So the student onboarding team is an in-office team. Okay, they were an in-office team. They're hourly plus bonus. And their job was to take the clients that came from the live events and conduct welcome calls and give people a personalized onboarding experience. And their job was also to collect outstanding balances. So to collect tuition. Because somebody enrolls at a live event, 30 to 50 grand, people are paying in full. Not everybody does. So we've got outstanding balances to collect. The live event advisors are on the road a lot. They're not going to be as consistent with collecting that tuition. So the onboarding team was born, and their job is to prevent RTCs. Okay. What we learned with selling at a live event, when it's a compressed time frame, a little bit stronger buyer's remorse can kick in, and that RTC risk is a little bit higher than selling someone over the phone. And so this team was really well placed to deliver a great experience when somebody's getting onboarded. They're collecting tuition, so there's a revenue producing team, and they're preventing and blocking RTC requests that are coming in. So very, very strong team that we built to complement our live event space. So now we've got this system, right? So we've got our live event admissions team selling our core offer. They go to the onboarding team to get onboarded into the program, deliver that 7-day power value. And then 2 weeks later, they're over here with the acceleration team, converting 55 to 60% of the acceleration offer. And simultaneously, we've got our inside admissions team selling the core offer, and then they are going straight to the acceleration team. The inside admissions team, because they're in office, because they're over the phone, they can do their own welcome calls, their own tuition collection. So this team is a little bit more independent. All right. Now, here's the kicker, right? You also have everybody that goes to an event. You're going to have the people that you sell at the event, and you're going to have non-buyers. Okay? The non-buyers from those events, where do they go? Well, they go straight over here to the inside admissions team that's already built. They already know how to do this. They already know how to follow up with somebody that's been to an event or been to a training and introduce and sell that core offer. Or they can offer a part of their downsell menu, things like that. So this became the system. Now, the last team that we put in place that was very, very important is sales operation. Sales ops. So this is the team that's providing administrative support. So there's a ton of management with the CRM, lead assignments and lead distribution. They would handle the KPI dashboards and the reporting, commissions and payroll, and any type of a reward system, bonus system, anything. They're supporting the sales managers, the sales leaders to make sure, and they're making sure that notes are getting entered correctly, that sales are getting processed correctly. So this is really the QA, the quality assurance of the entire sales department. So these are our 6 teams. This is how we grew from 0 to $170 million a year in revenue, was through these 6 teams. Now, if you are somebody that's building your sales team, you want to grow your business and you need help breaking through the next ceiling, whether it's marketing, sales, or service, there's not a scenario that you're going through that we haven't been through ourselves. So if you wanted to look into what that professional help might look like for you, then click the link in the description, and there's going to be some more information about what it looks like to work with us. So with that, keep scaling, and I'll see you in the next one.